Welcome back, guys. Today's video we'll be going over just how to deal more damage with the life staff. We all know by now the abilities to deal damage. You got your beacon, you got your orb protection, but I'll be honest, some of us are lazy. I had to say it. So I plan to use the life staff for leveling like as much as possible. To guarantee a higher mastery, so when we're going into the dungeon grind at level 25 or 25ish, I'll just have like more talents than maybe other people. And as I said before, some of us are lazy. So this video I got prompted into making just by reading the new guide over on New World Fans. Parfax's quick tips for early leveling. Definitely give this a read. Link in the description. A lot of it's just to go over, craft level 1 tools. I also suggest you pick up as much trees and rock and stuff along the way to your first settlement, because you could potentially skip a whole quest where you have to run out and collect wood and stone and yada yada. One thing that they just never really talk about, and nobody really ever talks about, is just doing more damage with the life staff. That's what RangerGar comes in for. Raw basic attacks with the life staff will be in our attributes, and this is kind of like a multi combo, if you will, only because of the gems that we'll discuss a little further on. But what I will be trying to get, for multiple reasons, is my intelligence at the 50 threshold early on, because it gives the 10% to damage with light and heavy magic attacks, and that will also apply to the focus staff's magic attacks. And I will be going for a either fire staff or ice gauntlet while I'm leveling with my life staff anyway. So this will just increase that ability damage while still using the life staff. Second part we'll go over very quickly is the light armor. Frankly, it's just you just do more damage with the light armor. So the next tip for dealing more damage with life staff is the best weapon you can buy yourself. You can guarantee the drop, and that is your Covenant weapon. Now again, for those who are not maining like a life staff early on, you can easily just buy a different weapon, but this video is about life staff, remember. So we are excited with this life staff because it comes with an empty socket. And now this empty socket is big, because this is where the combos start to come together. What we want to put in this socket is, this could be hard to find, it could be impossible to get, there's no guarantee, but we want to put the topaz in. Why do we want to put a topaz in, you ask? Well, let's just read the topaz. It provides electrified. X% of damage is converted to lightning damage. Say it with me. Lightning damage scales off of weapon stat or int, whichever is higher. Nerla asking RangerGar, well, why the lightning damage? Well, we go into the next chart. Now here's the damage charts. The damage charts of every type of attack. We got your melees, you got your slash, thrust, strikes. You got your fires, ice, nature, void, lightning, arcane. So, what is our life staff primarily? Our life staff is primarily nature. Now, as you can see, we gain percent damage buffs to two types of enemies, the lost and the corrupted. Now the corrupted and the lost we will definitely see early on. You'll see a lot more lost, corrupted, and ancients early on, and obviously beasts, but we don't get anything from beasts. Now what I am theorizing is if we slap in lightning to our life staff, now we're also covering the three most popular monsters you'll see in the early game. Lightning will receive extra damage to the ancients. Corrupted, we gain 15% just from the life staff. And then the lost, we gain the 30% from the life staff. Now, this doesn't stack or anything. It just means when you're attacking an ancient, the lightning gem from your life staff will be adding just a tiny bit more damage. And then when you're hitting a corrupted, your life staff base damage is already a little higher, same as the lost. And all this combined, remember this is all combined, will just start to increase that damage just a little bit more. So when you're like me and being sometimes lazy, you don't want to just tap a few things, switch to your bulky great axe or your hatchet and start swinging. Sometimes it's easier just to, because you're in light armor, just to attack a few times, dodge, roll away, attack a few times, dodge, roll away, and it's dead because you're adding so much extra percent. Next bit of min-maxing for our life staff weapon damage is inside the Arcana profession, and that is weapon coatings. Weapon coatings, they got a weapon coating for everything, and it has 4 tiers. You'll be able to craft the first, well, tier 2, the first coatings pretty early on. I don't have exact numbers, but as long as you're crafting some health and mana potions fairly early, giving you 9% at the first set of potions. And it's easy to know that you're going to be going into a lost or a corrupted area. So you just have a few of these on hand, slap it on, and now you're doing 9% more damage. Free damage. Now the final possible way to squeeze a little more damage out while you're leveling will be cooking. Now I never had enough time to dabble with the cooking. Oftentimes I would be missing like one crucial ingredient because I wasn't harvesting enough, and you definitely need to have like high level harvesting and have high chance of finding like rare items while harvesting to find a lot of the rare stuff. I also I don't know where you get cooking oil. Maybe it's in Arcana or it's in cooking. I don't know. But the point is you'll get attributes and things from cooking. So if you are big brain and you already know you're cooking, you're ahead of me, which is nice. I will try to do some research on it, but you do want to be leveling your cooking as much as possible, even at your camp. You can just be crafting the rations, and you should have rations going all the time because they just give you a passive healing buff. So you definitely want to have that anyway, but again, they will have the attribute feuds for your characters, and it's just one more thing to squeeze out the damage. It's not really a percentage, it looks like it's just flat amounts, so strength by 10. This could be a good way to inch out those thresholds later on while you're leveling, or even in endgame. Like, you only have 40 intellect normally, but then when you're going into a dungeon or you're going to start PvPing, you eat the plus 10 int, and now you're at 50. Easy way to hit those thresholds, so it's just good to remember, because hitting certain thresholds is just a huge buff. To that life staff damage, this is just a quick roundup. We have our 50 stat of int threshold, so that's 10% weapon damage. We have our light armor, 20% extra damage and healing. Healing doesn't really apply to this situation, but it's just saying. We have our topaz. Hopefully we get our topaz in our covenant weapon, and you're going to be having that covenant weapon for a while, so it's kind of useful putting a gem inside it. Hopefully you get a replacement weapon in the dungeons, the Amrine dungeons. That'd be really good for us life staffers. So that gem is 20%. The level 1 or tier 1 gem is 20% damage from the int. But we mainly have that for the extra damage on the ancients, which you'll be seeing a lot of skeletons in the early levels. We have our weapon coatings. We're at 4, and then a food buff if you know you're cooking. I don't know my cooking, so hopefully we learn that. And again, all of this is just a little guideline to help these life staff users gain a little more damage. Hopefully, I know some of you can relate. You're just sometimes too lazy to switch to your better damage weapon at the early stages. Now again, I'll state this: if you do have a super mega awesome weapon drop that is far greater gear score, you should be using that to kind of gain other weapon masteries. Don't just use these bit of gains, because these gains can also be applied to a lot of other weapons. This is just for the life staff users who may be a little lazy, like RangerGar here. And it's just something to think about, you know, something to think about. Always be thinking in these MMOs. That's why I thought about making this video. Because the damage gain from this, the damage effectiveness, is pretty high if you look at these numbers. 30% gain to the lost, and then the extra 30% from the lightning to the ancients. You see, nothing really has that number except fire against angry earth, but angry earth you really won't see until later. Arcane against corrupted. See, all these bonuses are just not that high. That's why I'm grateful I'll be going life staff and just gain this extra damage from all this stuff. Hey campers, RangerGar from the future. Just hoping you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe to be up to date with more videos in the future. And just remember, we do stream live on Twitch at twitch.tv/RangerGar. Hope to see you guys there for all the New World and all the future games to come.